Hello everybody and welcome back to another historically inspired hair and makeup tutorial with myself, Live Free. Today I'll be taking you back to the 18th century and demonstrating hair and makeup on our beautiful model Kate Fenwick. And in the first part I will be demonstrating the hair, and in the second part I'll be demonstrating the makeup. Okay, so we've started by curling Kate's hair already. I figured that was a fairly boring thing for you to sit and watch me do, so you can start by curling your hair. It's very simple. And all I'm going to do now is sort of section Kate's hair. And we're going for a fairly big but not huge 18th century hairdo today. So this is very, very similar to the hairstyle I did on actress Ellie Pickering's hair for the 18th century Brunswick dressing video. When it came to hairstyling in the 18th century, ladies would use something called pomatum in their hair. Pomatum was made from animal fats and scented with pleasant herbs and spices. This would have been worked throughout the hair. Hair powder, usually made from starch, was then applied for the fashionable look. Hair powders were often white, but were also made in different colours such as brown, pink, blue, violet, grey and orange. The pomatum and powder together would have made the hair fairly easy to style. You really want this part of the hair starting behind Kate's ear, or behind your ear, and just sort of push the front section of the hair forward. I'm not going to bother clipping it because it's being rather obedient and staying where it should. And I'm going to just take the front section, or the top section, and I'm just going to backcomb the roots a little bit. So with the backcombing, I'm not going up and down like that because you'll damage the hair if you do that, but just literally just push the comb down towards the roots and you'll see you get quite a lot of volume that way. And this is going to be the foundation for our hair padding. So that's just going to be something that I can pin the hair pads onto. So don't worry about it being perfect now, you're not going to see this bit. So for the hair padding, I've got one rather large bun ring here and a smaller one on top, so it looks quite amusingly a bit like a bread loaf. And I'm just going to pin that onto that backcomb section that we just created. And all I've done with these hair pads is just pin the two together. Hair pads were made from wool cloth in a colour to match the wearer's hair. These were stuffed with feather down or sheep's wool. The hair was wrapped around the pads and then pinned into place. So probably in all, going to put in about 4 pins to secure these hair pads onto Kate's head. So with these side sections, I'm just going to give it a bit of a spray with some hairspray. Don't be shy, you're going to need a lot of this stuff. I'm just going to take a volumizing powder and I'm just going to sprinkle this on the roots of the hair and backcomb ever so slightly. And you don't need much of this, a little goes a long way. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it like that for now, and then I'm just going to repeat that on the other side. So these front sections are what's going to be covering the bun ring. Because you don't want to see that, obviously. Okay. So now I can have a look at where I'm going to bring this hair. So I'm just going to bring the front sections over the top of the bun ring, and because we've got the product in the hair and the all the volumizing powder and the hairspray, it'll help support the back combing, and you can sort of play with where you're going to put the hair. You just sort of comb the outside of it so it looks a little bit smoother, obviously. Switch to my different comb. You can seem to see I need a bit more back combing in there. More hairspray. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to put my first pin in now, and that will help just hold it in place while I continue to fiddle around. So this pin will just go underneath the bun rings at the back there. Is that all right? That's not in an uncomfortable place, is it, Kate?
No, not at all.
Good, okay. So that's one side where I'm fairly happy with where the hair is going. I will continue to sort of build and work around it. So now I can work on just finalising this side, just smoothing that hair out. Just going in with my pintail comb and just sort of manipulating the hair. So you can see any unevenness from the back combing, you can just go in with your pintail comb, just sort of the metal part, and just gently sort of tease those areas out without ruining that by using a hairbrush or anything. So it's quite good for that, really. I'm just going to pop another pin in to secure this bit. Okay, so now I can really start to work on the shape and covering of the buns in there. Kind of smooth things out a bit. And just have a play and see what works best for you as well in the mirror.
It doesn't feel heavy at all.
No,
Really?
yeah, it's the great thing about using that hair padding. It's not heavy. And really all we're going to do is just sort of pin these curls up around the back here. So it's going to be fairly big here. And we will also leave out a little bit just to hang down. So what I'm going to do is just take sections of these curls, and I'm just going to sort of roll them up into barrel curls, and I'm just going to pin them, and you can just sort of tease them out a little bit. And take a section. Now I appreciate this will be very hard to do on yourself, so just sort of roll the curls up and pin them as best you can. If you're doing it on somebody else, then you know obviously this back bit will be a lot easier. So I've taken a little section of hair, and I'm just going to hold this with my left hand in between my index finger and my thumb, and then with my other hand I'm just going to take that little tail of hair there and bring that up so you've got a loop, and then just sort of wind your way up with the length of hair, and then you've got this curl, and then you can pin that into position, and that's a barrel curl. And then you can just sort of tease that open a little bit so you've got lots of volume there. And so you just want to repeat that really until you've got most of this section of hair up and in curls. Okay, so I've got all of the hair pinned up, and I've just left out this little bit here and just given it a bit of an extra curl and a bit of a hairspray, and that's good to go. So, and Kate, if you just turn your head this way for me, so you can kind of see all of the curls here. Now I appreciate not all of you have the hair for this, but you can use hair extensions. That will work perfectly fine. Alternatively, you can just style a wig with this particular hairstyle. And you know, you might find for all of the historical styles that might be the easiest way to go. But it's exactly the same principle. If you were styling your own hair, somebody else's, or a wig, that's why it's good to see it from this point of view. So now, really, all you have to do is just sort of see if there's any other tweaks that you need to do. A bit more hairspray, just to make sure that you've got a good shape going on at the front, which I think I'm quite happy with that. Just going to spray these curls at the back. Now, this is one of many different kind of 18th century styles. It's the same really with any era that we do, but if there's a particular hairstyle 18th century or no that you would like to see me recreate, then please say in the comments, because I know that 18th century particularly is very, very popular, and I'm happy to do pretty much anything because it's great fun for me. So yeah, let us know. Okay, so you could leave it like that, or you could add some white hairspray. Well, I've got some white hairspray. So we're going to have a bit of fun. Just make sure you cover your face. I'm just going to spray that on, just give the appearance of powder that they used to use in their hair and in their wigs. So you've got a good 18th century piercing going on there, Kate.
I thought about that earlier.
Lovely, I think that will do. Okay, so you don't have to do that, obviously, but that's just a bit of fun, and I couldn't resist. So there we go. That's the finished hair.
Whoa! I wasn't expecting it to be that big. Oh my gosh. 10 out of 10.
Oh, thanks.
Approve. Well done.
Join us for part 2, where I will be demonstrating the makeup and you can see the finished look.